Hi everyone, I want to show you now how the interior of the photo booth is laid out. Show you some details on the camera platform, the monitor platform, and the power strips and those kinds of things. And I hope this helps. I removed the computer tower so I can show you the detail of how that is held in place in the case. I use a full-size tower. So if you're using a laptop, this obviously doesn't apply. I made these brackets. I just used some of my spray adhesive and foam on the insides. Cut a slot on each side. As you can see, these are just cut-offs from the material I use for the side walls of the case. And I got a couple brackets, riveted them in, and then this strap goes over the top of the tower and cinches it down. You can see with pencil marks I did the outline of my tower, being careful to leave enough room so the CD case could open and close. And then I placed these, drilled and riveted them into place. Seems to work okay. There may be a better way, but that's what I'm doing. The monitor support, this monitor is fairly heavy, so you want it to rest at the proper height to your cutout hole. So I made just a little table, you might say, and it's glued. And here I put a little stay to keep it from sliding out away from the front of the case. So that works very well. On the top side, I made these brackets. This has a threaded insert on the opposite side. So there's a threaded insert here, if you can see that. And these are very easy to install. You drill the proper size hole, they screw into the wood, and then the threaded knob will screw into that. Now the way I made these is I made this block slightly thinner than the thickness of the monitor. This allows this piece to cantilever in and press the monitor against the foam strip that surrounds the monitor cutout. Hope that all makes sense. Put that together in a few minutes. Now on this side we have a power strip mounted, and this powers the monitor, the computer tower, the flash up here, studio flash, also the camera. You're going to want to have a camera AC adapter. I got this one off Amazon, and that's very important. So next we'll take apart this camera shelf a little bit and give you details on how that's made. Okay, here's a detail of the bolt that holds the camera shelf to the side. You'll see it's a slotted bolt that fits this threaded knob. It slides into the T-track. Now obviously this bolt goes through the side of the camera shelf, and then this knob screws on and tightens it in place. The T-tracks themselves are just riveted into place in two spots. Now, one of the nice things about this design is that you can obviously slide the platform up and down. In case you have a backup camera, let's say, that has a motor drive on the bottom, it has more thickness from the center line of the lens to the base of the camera, you can easily adjust that. Also, you can tilt up and down. I found this useful on the job when, for instance, I was shooting a Halloween gig with lots of little kids. So I tilted the camera slightly down because you obviously can't raise and lower the booth for different heights of clients. So this is a way to adjust that, and that seems to work very well. If you loosen these just a little, you will get a friction fit. You'll see it's still quite tight, yet movable. No danger of that going anywhere. It's very firm. So one thing to keep in mind when you attach these sides, and I use plywood for the bottom, I highly recommend plywood. The sides, that's not important. I used pocket holes in the back, pocket hole screws to come down in, and I wanted to make sure I had plenty of strength. Obviously you don't want this joint failing and your camera to fall. Cameras are not very heavy, however, don't just glue this joint. Either screw up through the bottom or use a pocket hole or something to make sure you have a secure joint there. Okay, and this is just a little bit of edging that I put on the plywood, cleans it up a little bit. The flash I'm using is a studio flash. It's a flash point, and I purchased this at Adorama in New York City. It's like $50, very inexpensive. You can dial your power in. It has a modeling light, interchangeable or replaceable flash bulbs and modeling lights. It's worked very well for me, much better than a shoe mount flash in my opinion. And the way I mounted it, these mount on a number of stands, but mounts very well on a 5/8 studio stand, which I'll show you now. This one is made by Matthews, and it was originally a piece that's meant to clamp into a drop ceiling, one of the metal bars that support the panels in a drop ceiling. And I just took that clip off, and there's a screw coming through the top of the case. Having problems with my focus. The screw comes through the top of the case into the threaded portion, and that's it. Drill a 1/4 inch hole or so, and screw it in, and you're done. And you can hang that flash from the top of your case. Okay, here's everything put back together. This is the strap I spoke about, and it's pretty robust. I transport this photo booth in the back of my pickup truck, so I never lay it on the side, but I think it would be no problem with this setup. All back together. See the power strip on the side. One question some have had is how this flash panel, this diffuser, is installed, and it's very simple. On the edge of your cutout, install self-stick foam tape. It's like a 1/2 inch wide black tape. You pull the backing off, put it around the perimeter. You can see a little bit sticking out on the top there. And then these glass retainer clips, there's many types on the market, just hold a piece of this plexi in. I found this on Amazon. You know, it works very well, just like a soft box. Gives nice, soft, even lighting on the subjects. One last tip. The modeling light on these studio flashes has a fairly limited lifespan, and rather than depend on that to throw light on my subjects for focusing, I added this very inexpensive light, clip-on light. I think I picked this hood up at Walmart and put a fluorescent light in there, and it's one of the instant-on type. Works very well. Inexpensive fix to you know, a problem that could occur with the modeling lights of these studio flashes, especially the cheaper ones. You don't want your modeling light to go out and, you know, not have a backup. This, obviously, it's much easier to get backups than it would be for the specific type of bulb required by these studio lights. So something you may want to consider in your own booth.